so good. They were rotating players out. They were gonna go on, start putting pressure on Master Balk. They walked in, they got the swings, they got the kills that they needed, but then just like that, I mean, Bean and Yeji, you guys are so good. Keep it up. You're doing just what you need to do. The round shouldn't be coming down to you guys clutching up and winning every gunfight, but damn if I don't love to see that when it happens. I mean, you guys are doing awesome. This is great to see, but
Yeah, and here we're going to be seeing some of that amazing roam clear that did come out from Genesis. That 90 cut off the grenade from below. But here is where it all started to fall apart for Genesis. They do get that pick onto Ani and as well onto Louis, but Yeji and Bean both just end up collapsing in, and pinching all of these players who were still swarmed in around the landing area, and it ends up falling apart. The only player who wasn't there to retrade, refrag, trade out any of these kills was on the master balcony trying to get a pinch going. So from Genesis, we just saw them trying to pump the they just didn't pump the brakes. They just went too fast, too quick, and it ended up costing them because they weren't watching for the pinch. Now, here as well, we're going to be seeing Genesis on their first defense and 1 HP on their first attack, and as well, we're going to be seeing another first for the Digital Athletes League. We see Chu on Osa. Recently released into competitive, Osa has a very strong kit, not only bringing see-through mirror-like bulletproof shields, but as well the 5.56 of thermite and smoke grenades. She's a very powerful and potent operator for the side attacking side, and as well that you're going to see the Monty effect coming out. Reapa's not able to contest, and as well Bembo trading with Bean. Very nice shots coming out from both those players.
Bomb located by attackers.
yeah, they're kind of just using Shu like a Monty a little bit, pushing through this defense. We're seeing the same sort of defensive setup that we saw when 1HP was defending it, but now this time 1HP is electing instead to attack into it rather than attack the opposing side of the map. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of internet connectivity issues, but nothing to slow us down too
Defenders,
much.
protect your bombs
We're gonna
from
jump
being
right
defused
back
by
in
attackers.
to this match. Dining
And it,
kitchen.
10
First
seconds
time we're
to
gonna see this
insertion.
all
5 seconds
map.
left
Okay,
before
we
insertion.
saw 1 HP
Attackers
visit
must
reading
locate and
and
defuse the
library
bomb.
twice with the 1-to-1 as far as their win-loss on that site. But now first, we're gonna see Genesis come to dining kitchen. We've already seen Racky go down.
That could have been
15
a
seconds
team.
into the round.
That was a team kill because the prep phase just ended. Oh, it wasn't even over when he was dead. So that was either accidental team kill while making a rotate, or he potentially had a skin on. And since Hans wasn't here, they opted not to rehost. But we're gonna be seeing Bembo get quite aggressive onto that Osa shield. Ends up whacking it, removing the visibility from it, and forcing them to pop it open. Still playing quite aggressive here towards Bathroom and Master. Gonna try to catch someone off guard. Does opt to back out right as Chu was fixing to just pop their head off there. Right now, just 1 HP, vying for this Master control, going for the vertical play. And since they only have to be worried about a single C4 coming out from Genesis, they are not too worried. Make that 0 C4 as this Beans on site! Already takes out Hunter here, weary of the push in from Memorial. Currently, Dag just on red stairs, now pushing a Memo, does get taken out. Plant is down, Bean currently up in the score, 14-3. Bembo does end up taking out Chu with a knife, but Bean with another pick on Reapus, getting refract however. Bembo now in a 1 versus 2 situation, 2 full HP healthy players, does end up putting a chunk of damage onto Louis, who falls back from that position, now being baited out by faking the defuse. Grenade does go out, and it sails true. Louis finishing the round with a slightly cooked grenade, putting them up onto match point here. 6 rounds to 2.
Yeah, I kind of liked. I mean, Bimbo had a higher chance than I thought he did. He got the kill, he killed Bean. Then he put a little bit of damage down to Louis. I thought, okay, maybe one more bullet, he can find it. He can get lucky here. It's a little bit more winnable than I thought. But no, that was excellent post-plant coverage there by 1 HP. Keeping Louis up top, or keeping Louis up top, having Ani be outside with the coverage. I mean, it was nothing that Bembo could have expected. I would have liked to have seen Reapers land a little bit more shots there onto Bean. I feel like he maybe could have won that gunfight. Bean just didn't have to stop shooting. Power of that LMG. But now we go to match point. We see 1 HP on match point. We probably know where they're going to be attacking. They're going to be going back to their Aviator games. And no, sorry, excuse me, I spoke wrong. Going back to the trophy.
All right, trophy holds not too uncommon. You know, being most players in teams' preferred secondary site. And as well, we're going to be seeing Rebus here on the Thunderbird with impact grenades instead of a C4. So Genesis not really putting too much stock into their plant denial beyond smoke, and a singular C4 on Hunter as the COD. Though how effective that C4 will be given the current scoreline is yet to be seen. But it doesn't seem they're putting a lot of stock into those C4 explosive denials.
No, and this was my fear. It seemed with the Cade and the impacts that Gen was bringing, they wanted to focus on holding the triple wall. I feel like they wanted to go for denial with using those impacts and keeping the Cade up. They wanted to keep that wall reinforced and unbroken as long as they could. But then here we're seeing a full study over push, which again, had Genesis not, you know, flubbed their attack, they could have seen some success from that. But PB3 now, this is fast, this is aggressive. Reapa's another kill. We're not a minute into the round, and it's now a 3v2.
Yeah, 3v2 now. as we're going to be seeing Bean, Louis, and Chu being completely ripped through by Genesis. We had Reapus, Hunter, and Bembo all get in on that action there. And now we have Ani and Yeji in a 2 versus 3 situation, really slowing down the tempo of this round. And Ani nearly takes off the head. I believe that was off of Reapus there, who's now relocated into Astro. That was actually Dag, my bad. And now we have Yeji going through Ivy Hall into Memo, trying to see if there's a roamer they can pick off, while Ani's trying to get some positioning inside of the master closet. Currently, Yeji and Ani are setting up for a pinch play onto Astro, but unfortunately, Reapus with the aggressive play does take out Ani, who hopped into the master closet, but Yeji as well gets spotted out by camera and the barbed wire, and we see here Dag just going for the easy swing off of Intel to close out the round and put them Genesis 3 rounds to 6.
Yeah, he was certainly not having a good time there. Yeji, you know, in a star performer, putting yourself in a 1v3, you can hope for the best, but Yeji's he's good. Wasn't that good. Moving on, Genesis still has a huge task ahead of them. I mean, we're seeing some players starting to light up. Rack's gotten some kills. Bembo's picking it up. Reapus is doing wonders. Now, another cool feat, Hunter picked up his first kill last round. Is this going to be the turn? I mean, Genesis can still do this. We've got to see some of these players step up, but they're playing structured. They're structured to a degree, but their swings are calculated. They're playing for trades. They're just being aggressive. They're playing right into 1 HP's aggression, and they're just winning it out. Going back to Aviator Games, they could win this. This could be 4-6.
I mean, one would hope that players inside of a competitive league would be playing structured, given that they've qualified. And it's, you know, it's not like we're wanting to see TDM in a Villa game, though that hopefully will be coming soon with the implementation of the team deathmatch mode as a warm-up, if you please. But as well, we're going to be seeing Mozzie on the board for the first time this match. That's going to be a lot of good intel denial coming out, especially since we have Chu on Twitch. Hunter, you know, first kill on the board, starting to feel themselves this match. Really going for the cheeky run out, you know, fight in the air there, but as well, we're going to be seeing some split pressure coming out towards zombie window. Bembo as well trying to get a little aggressive on the main door, nearly takes the head off of Yeji, but as well nearly having their head taken off. Currently just stuck in this hallway, nowhere to really go, and Yeji's hit the deck, so could potentially catch Bembo aiming too high.
Yeah, all they gotta do is keep him. Yeah, he's pinched, he's trapped. I mean, maybe Racky can actually. I think, yeah, and he does. Perfect. Now Bimbo's in the clear. He's taking out some drones. They've got a pick. Racky's low HP. Excellent work there. Good team play. Racky comes in, finds the pick, gets healed back up. Thunderbird coming into full effect. Like I said, Genesis, they can do this. They're playing aggressive, but they're playing structured. They have their teammates with them. They're playing trades, and they're finding those gunfights. This is a totally different, polar opposite Genesis than from what we saw the first 3 rounds. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, this is looking a lot cleaner coming out from the side of Genesis. They seem a little bit less shaken by what 1HP is doing. And as well, 1HP has changed up their formula from what they were doing previously. And it seems that this is making Genesis a little bit more comfortable. They're not having to deal with things they haven't seen before and having to adjust on the fly to stuff like a Osa on the field. Well, nade coming out. Hunter, however, with a nice reaction, does take out Louis. And that is 2 pivotal picks, but a nice late refrag coming out from Chu onto Hunter. still not entirely dire, as there is Reapus, I believe, being in a known position. That's a lot of noise made though, but nice shot by Yeji and Chu as well, with a nice pick on the Bembo from Vault. Dag taking about 40 HP's worth damage there, nearly being having their head taken off, and all of 1 HP, still at full HP. We now have Raki and Dag having to hold out in
Attackers
a
have located a
2
bomb.
versus 3 in these closing moments.
It's
Attackers
not
dropped the
undoable.
diffuser.
Raki's got
Ooh.
great positioning here. He
15
denies the
seconds
plant.
remaining.
They're still
Attackers have
pushing from
recovered their
bar.
diffuser.
Dag's got to be aware of this. He's got the shotgun and he loses the gunfight now. It's a 1v2. Raki has great positioning. Going for the plant though. And yeah, just got the cut. Okay. That's going to be our map 1. Wow. What it came down to really was when Dag took that swing on main stairs, he needed to win the gunfight. He needed to kill the sledge. He wasn't able to do that. It was a 2v3. They just started moving in. Raki had a great play. Took down the planter, but they weren't able to do anything with it. Dag lost another one that he should have won. And that's ultimately what it came down to. I mean, we saw an excellent map. Hunter just started turning up a little bit too late. Hunter needed to pick up some kills in the first good 8 rounds, not the last, not just the last 2, but Hunter's fed up now. Is he gonna come on the coastline with a little fire lit up underneath him? I think so.
Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate there for Genesis. Seemed like they were a little bit late to the party, not just the one player, but the team as a whole in regards to their
Attackers have
communication
located a
and
bomb.
coordination on this map.
Attackers
Seems like
dropped the
they,
diffuser.
even though this was
15 seconds
their
remaining.
pick
Attackers
and
have
their
recovered their
choice of
diffuser.
map, they weren't
5
quite
seconds left.
ready for what 1 HP was bringing to them in this. It just seems
No,
like they were completely unprepared.
no, we saw 1 HP bring a lot to the table. A lot early on, we saw them bring some solid structure, some solid team play, excellent refrags, and it just seemed like Genesis wasn't, like you said, up to speed really with what 1 HP was bringing. But we saw Genesis turn it around in the last few rounds. They picked up a few. It was 0-3. They ended up getting 3 rounds for themselves. I think that Genesis maybe has a fighting chance on coastline, but I think I'm still going to favor 1 HP here. 1 HP is obviously very structured. Coastline is a little bit less structured, but when you see a team like 1 HP able to combine structure with aggression, that's going to bode very well on coastline. They've seen some reworks on coastline. It's a little bit less open now, per se. There's still good sight lines across the map. There's still a lot you can do. There's a lot of flexibility with the soft wall destruction, but I still favor 1 HP coming into it.
Agree with that. Just given what we saw with that first map, 1 HP being way more coordinated, what better aggression, better clearing, and better overall utility usage across the board. And Genesis being kind of a little bit less, a little more worse for wear. Uh, not being able to fully capitalize on the mistakes that 1 HP did make. And when they did, capitalizing just a little bit too late for what they needed in their rounds. As you could see, Genesis at the very end there started playing for trades a lot better. Their camera work and droning started to really be picked up and a lot smoother. But 1 HP was just able to capitalize on these small little positioning errors and mistakes, specifically in that last round. You had Bembo on the Jaeger being completely and utterly pinched out from both main door and a zombie window, being stuck inside of that piano hallway, not being able to fall back and escape. So it was, and no one was there to play with him or get his refrag. So it's mistakes like that that really have been costing Genesis in this match. And what 1 HP has been exploiting
Yeah, I see some promise. I see that Genesis started to make moves, started to come alive, but 1HP just was on top of them the entire match. They gave up only a few rounds. They gave up really only a few gunfights that they absolutely should have won. Overall, 1HP had excellent roam clearing through and through the entire time. They had excellent defensive decision making, which I think was a big portion of why they did so good on that defensive half. We just saw little moments where they a light bulb came on in their head. They saw a play, they made the play, and it paid dividends. We saw, who was it, Yeji on the Jaeger on that trophy statuary defense, swinging out, getting 3 kills, turning that round on its head.
Yeah,
There was
round
just,
6.
yeah, there was just moments there where it seemed like Genesis had it in the bag, and then another rabbit came out, and 1HP flipped it. They totally turned the round around. They had things just up their sleeve that Genesis just weren't ready for. Genesis was doing all that they could. They were playing structured. They started to pick it up. Their droning was way better towards the end of those attacking rounds. Their defense was a lot better as they came through the last little bit of their defensive rounds. They were just late to the party. They started playing trades. They were droning a little bit better. They had their pinches, their cutoffs. I mean, they had their fundamentals. It seemed down to a degree, just not good enough. And when you come up against a team like 1HP, who is taking members of your old roster and then an already set triage of being awkward and or not awkward, drawing blanks here, but when you have a already set trio and then you add in a Genesis old roster like that, you've got to have your fundamentals down to a core. We saw
Yeah.
significant gaps with
Yeah.
Genesis.
uh,
Ultimately, that's what they paid the price for it.
yeah, you have a lot of that chemistry that was originally there in the first place being just kind of uprooted, upended, and just torn to shreds, being removed, and a lot of that chemistry going from the old Genesis roster over to the current 1HP roster. It really is a detriment given, how just how much this Genesis roster has been moving and shaking over the past couple of months with their players. It's sort of like as well with the Sinai Village roster. They have a very solid set of players, but they're just so much moving and shaking going on that it really is the detriment there to their detriment. But I do believe all of our players are in lobby and ready here, so we are fixing to take you on to sunny Ibiza here in Coastline.
Let's do it. I'm excited. I want to see what they've got for us. I know for a
Show me
fact
what you got.
there's one thing that I want to see, and it's banter. These teams know each other. There's such a good interpersonal relationship between these two teams. I'm surprised I'm not seeing more banter from these teams. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
it's almost like they got their all chat off, even knowing it's a custom game.
It's a custom game exactly. Throw out some banter. I want to see it. I want to see
Yeah,
the
shocking
witty wit.
lack of smack talk. It seems like these teams are being really, really good sports when it comes to respecting their previous roster, their previous teammates. Seems like there's still a lot of respect, potentially some friendship. Okay, well, never
There
mind.
it
Here comes
is.
that smack talk. Here
There's
comes
the
that.
banter. Finally, all we had to do was say it. All we had to do was say
Yeah, all we had to do was
it.
invoke the wrath of the caster's curse.
There we go. All right. Talk about these bans here. I think we could come to the conclusion that 1HP just does not like Nomad. Now, Genesis with the Lion ban, drawing a little bit maybe from SSG. They just don't want to be stuck in positions. With the Nomad off the board and now the Lion off the board, I feel like 1HP, though, is going to just run all over them, run around the map, roam, and rip Genesis apart. Excited to see it, though. Valkyrie going to come out. Not a far off ban. Mozzie, that. Hmm. Talk about that for a little bit.
So the Mozzie ban coming out here. a little bit interesting from Genesis since 1 HP really did well coming out from 1 HP, that is, since Mozzie really wasn't run too much by Genesis or 1 HP on this map, but Mozzie does allow for on coastline some of those heavy, like deep roams with your vigils, your mutes, and your Mozzies with 2 anchor operators. So that's gonna help alleviate some of that stress for Genesis
Defenders,
and
protect your bombs.
potentially
Defused
a
by
1
attackers.
HP since they were the ones who made that ban. And as well as the Nomad ban coming out again. Seems like they're just really worried about these aggressions, the aggression and deep roams coming out from Genesis. And as well, Genesis banning the Lion and the Valkyrie. Valkyrie's pretty bog standard ban, but especially potent and powerful on coastline. And Lion, specifically on this map, just helps pinch out and create so many roam clear opportunities for the attack. Just
5
like
seconds
with
left before
Jackal,
insertion.
but he's still on the board, and as well we have Zero,
Attackers moving out to
who
locate
creates the same kind of opportunities that Lion does, just a little bit instead of being a passive utility, an active utility.
Yeah, and Zero is an operator that I'm a huge fan of. I feel like from the moment that he was introduced into the game, he had a lot of versatile utility. Then they started giving him a little bit more. We see that now he has the Gun 6. He's got 2 hard breach charges. Zero is a very versatile operator. I'm very excited to see him. He's got a lot of
Attackers have
potent,
located a bomb.
potent ability here on Coastline. He can set up cameras for nitro cells below the site. He can set up cameras purely for flank watch and roam. Now, he is an active utility, as you said, but Coastline's one of those maps where aggression early is huge. You know, you maybe get a 2-for-1 trade. You have Reapa's die go down early, and then he's on camps. He can watch those Zero cams and make them, or you can send Bimbo to the grave early, but now he's on camp duty. It's really not that big of a deal. Coastline's one of those maps where there's so much that they can do with a dead player. They're not out of the loop. Let's say just hard breach charge going off. Dag's going to be getting a little bit of VIP control here. We're seeing a little bit of utility usage. The Mira did stick. We thought we were going to see the Mira switch to an Echo, but the Mira stuck and is posted up in 90. We're not seeing any pressure from the backside top white, where we see Louis a little bit skeptical of, but I think for the most part now the attack sort of plan coming from Genesis is going to be getting second floor control and pushing that over through 90 and going for more of an Aqua default.
Reapa's here,
Drop the diffuser.
however, does take out the mirror windows line of sight, but Louis with another nice shot, with a nice shot that is, onto Dag, and as well, we're gonna see.
Oh my!
Well, I can't even finish the thought. We just have 1 HP just completely trouncing on this attempted or clear of the extended play over by VIP and Theater
Think
here.
faster. Like I said, you got to be quicker than that. Coastline, one of those
Gotta
maps
be
where
quicker than that.
it's aggression heavy, and it really
Yeah.
turned on its head in a minute. From the 2-minute to 1-minute mark, that round flipped entirely on its head, and we saw 5 people from Genesis go down.
Yeah, that was a. I just saw how they set up that mirror window, but that was a very potent hold coming out from 1 HP there. And for those who are
Attackers
unaware,
need to locate
as you
and
saw,
defuse bombs.
VIP window has become VIP wall, which is why there's, and as well, that window that used to be on the VIP hallway has been
Attackers
boarded
discovered
up,
the
sealed
location
up,
of a
and you
bomb.
can barricade those windows now. So that makes holding VIP a lot more potent than it used to be, since you can not only reinforce off the two walls that are there, but as well you can bandit trick, tide trick, mute, jammer, make it a lot more difficult for the attackers to have that VIP control. But we are now on to what is typically the tertiary site here, being Blue Bar and Sunrise. So we're going to be seeing 1HP bringing out a lot of tertiary sites in this best of 3, since not only did we see a practically non-existent site in Villa, but as well a tertiary site in this map.
Yeah, and it wasn't only a non-existent site for Villa, it was a site that they won. They dominated the round that they did. Now, it was a lot of calculated aggression that led them there when they came back to it. Obviously, we saw a different result, but I'm not surprised to see Blue Bar here second. Hookah's fallen by the wayside a little bit with this new meta and how it shifted. Bean already going to go down. Early pick from Raki. Finding that aggression, I think they're doing a horizontal push here, and that's going to pay dividends here if they can find the man advantage. Two's already down. Ani's going to find the trade, though. That's your hard breach down. That is huge. 1HP did not bring any sort of hard breach denial for that Blue Bar wall at all. That could have been free real estate for Dag to take, but now that he's dead, 4v4, health advantage still in the favor of Genesis, but 1HP definitely found a more important pick, pulling Habana off. There's still vertical pressure. You've got to look up. Doesn't find that pick, but then Reapa's does. Trades out Ani. That's your smoke gone. Reapa's finds another. Pushing in, killing Chu. That's a double kill. The verticality's there. He does not find the pick on the Bimbo, and Bimbo's got the nade out. He's going to find it.
Barely misses. Now we have a... Yeah, it really did look like Bimbo would have gotten that, but Yeji gets out with full HP. Louis as well, pushing in from Courtyard. Does end up taking out Bimbo. Speak of the devil. Hunter here trying to go for that plant, but now 2 versus 2 is Yeji gets a pick onto Raki, and now we have Reapus here holding with a long cutoff angle from inside of Dining. Does end up tucking up here. Could end up being taken out by Yeji should they push out a cool vibe, but Reapus now watching that angle as Yeji is pushing ever so closely into their sightline. Who wins this heads-up gunfight? It's going to be Reapus. Now, Louis in a 1 versus 2 situation. Reapus and Hunter both in good post-plant positions here. Reapus now is seemingly aware of Louis being inside a kitchen here. Could end up being taken out, and that is going to be Reapus with a nice pick onto Louis here. Does end up closing out the round here for Genesis.
Wow.
Yeah, very good round coming out from Reapus in the right spot at the right time. Every single opportunity that they had here.
Yeah, we saw again some heads-up gunfights, but it seemed like they had heads-up gunfights with a little bit more intel, which makes that a little bit more favored towards the attacker side. Louis found some picks. Binyat was first picked, and that vertical pressure applied there from Reggie was huge. They found him 2 kills, I believe, but it just wasn't enough. They were able to cut off the opposite side, sure, but the main goal of Genesis there was to get that bomb down, tucked up on the bar. They were able to do just that. They had the information there clearly on the Jaeger pushing through the kitchen. Reapa's rotated out perfectly. Excellent post plant. Gonna go back to Blue Bar though. I don't think I like this decision here from 1HP.
I disagree with you on that one. I think 1HP had the right idea. They had to hold nearly right. They just ended up losing a couple of heads-up gunfights there. As you saw, Chu had Reapus in their sights, but didn't squeeze the trigger in time to get that pick. And had Chu ended up getting that pick onto Reapus there, it would have been a even man count for 1HP in Genesis. And at that point, I feel like 1HP just showing their gun skill as it stands right now would have ended up winning that round.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that 1HP can't do it, but what I think is going to happen here is that Genesis is just going to switch up how they attack. We saw Dag go down real early last round. Wasn't able to get any hard breach down that made the office push that much less viable. But we're going to have Reapers here. He's moving in. Okay, a little bit of damage, but they have the intel on where Louis is at. But Reapers is dead. Never mind. Okay, I was gonna say Reapers could move in here and get some good kitchen control, but yeah, he's
No
dead.
hero play this round.
Yeah. All right. Well, switching up my thought process on how the round's gonna go. I'm not sure here what I think Genesis needs to do. What it looks like they're doing is stagnating. I don't really think they have a
Yeah,
direction to push.
they really look like chickens with their heads cut off here. They
Bomb has been located.
lost Reapus, their Zofia, one of their entry players, and they seem really lost, as you said. So they're just taking a moment, resetting, reassessing what they need to do, especially in the face of this Mira, which is kind of choking out their office side take. But Raki and I believe that was Bembo in main lobby getting a pick onto Louis. That's exactly what they needed to try and get back into this round. But
Yep.
they still have to face down this Mira window.
There we go. Bring the man count back. Okay. Unaware. Unaware. Raki's absolutely unaware of Yeji's position up top. Hunter does find the trade out to Ani. It's a little bit more winnable now. Chu only posted on site. Yeji's going to take the drop through court. Yeji might try to go for an office flank here. There is no Nomad. There has to be a cam on this. If Yeji tries to go for this office flank, things could get dangerous. It's exactly what he's going to try to do. There's got to be a cam on this. Yeah, oh, Yeji's about to make a move. They have no idea. Misses the second shot, but the kill's already secured. That's going to be Dag going down. Yeji's already, he's going to screw off. He's going to go to court. Yeah, excellent play there. Wow, Genesis really needed to have a cam on that. I mean, that had to have been a really good flank. They had the audio cue for sure that Yeji dropped court. They had to have had a camera there to watch their flank. That is an absolute fundamental mistake. That cost them that round. Genesis had it in the bag. The 3v2 with Yeji off in on paintings, watching those blue bar holes. That's an easy read. It's an easy pick to find. Make it a 3v1 with Chu playing behind the Mira. It's doable. Raki's absolute unawareness there of Yeji's positioning up top, even though Yeji found another kill earlier in the round on the Reapers. I mean, those are just fundamental mistakes that Genesis is making here. They've got to be more aware. Coastline's a map where you've got to be aware of what the defenders might do and what they've got set up and where. The verticality, the rotations, the audio cues even. Open your ears, Genesis. You're throwing away rounds on basic fundamental flaws, and it's just something that you hate to see.
Yeah, and especially since, Coastline is one of those maps that the community still isn't too fond of, even after the slight reworks that have occurred to it, make it more tolerable to the competitive community. A lot of people still call it the Call of Duty map. You're just kind of running around taking gunfights instead of playing Siege, but I would disagree with that given the rework, but this match, it seems like we're going back to a little bit of the pre-workout, rework Coastline, because it's all coming down to those gunfights.
Yeah, it certainly is. You would like to see a little bit more structure with how the rework's played. I certainly don't agree to the sentiment that it's a Call of Duty map. I'm playing a lot of Call of Duty recently. I don't feel the same when I play Coastline. Even, especially now after this rework. There's a lot more structure that you can do. I like what 1HP is doing on their defenses. I like that they're rotating into VIP and doing that VIP hold. It's certainly a lot more viable now with the reinforced walls. We would see it before the rework, like people would put some shields there and try to hold VIP that way, but it's a lot more viable now with those reinforced walls. Damage done, but he's unaware of the position. He thought they were more up on the couch, but they were instead tucked to the corner. Could have been a huge play there from Chu instead of just a bit of wasted utility and a little bit of damage done. Chu's going to be forced to rotate back now. And Hunter's going to find a pick. There goes Louis. That was originally the player that was holding down 90. And now, of course, they switched up the strat. We did see the Echo 6 pick come in, so they don't have the Mira on 90. Louis would have been that player holding that. Said he was caught out bottom white. Bean is now there to rotate and take up that position. I think that was just a long pick there from the Sunrise bar.
Potentially, I wasn't quite I'm not quite sure of where that came from, but Bean getting a pick on the Bimbo. Very solid flank coming out. But Hunter with a very nice shot in the 1x scope. It is a quite an amazing shot coming out from them, but Yeji with a nice refrag onto Hunter there as well. So 1x not doing them any favors there. And as well, going to an earlier point, Louis being taken off the board so early, that's only going to be about 2 or 3 of those Womai deployed. So at least 2 Womai not being deployed and able to deny any throwables. And as well, you just lost your hard breach and Raki to, oh my goodness, Reapus as well. Yeji with a nice 3k on this round. Close things out for this hookah hold. Just
excellent work there by Yeji. Lost. There's the banter. It's
ooh.
coming through a little bit more. 1 HP's feeling themselves. I was just about to say Hunter was stepping up and starting to feel himself, and then he, got sight blocked there onto
Yeah,
Yeji
kind of
downstairs.
just completely denied.
Excellent work there by 1 HP. We see them go down. How many times have we seen them lose man advantage first? And we've seen them down man advantage a number of times, even here, but they're finding the picks if they need to. I don't think Hunter should have pushed up. I think they had plenty of time to find a little bit more knowledge where 1 HP was posted up. I don't like that Dag lost that gunfight, but that's what it's coming down to. Again, we're not seeing enough utility usage. We're not seeing enough intel gathering on the side of Genesis. 1 HP's absolutely taking advantage of that. They're slaughtering them. I mean, Yeji didn't even blink. So many times into his
ice in the veins, one could say. And we're gonna be seeing Kitchen and Prep coming out for 1 HP. Is this the first time they've gone Kitchen and Prep here?
This is the first time that we've seen Kitchen and Prep from them. Blue Bar was their preferred site. They bounced back and forth. It seems to be Kitchen's their tertiary. They went Hookah twice and then Blue Bar twice, and we've seen them go up 3-1. The only site that they lost was that Blue Bar. So after having completed the rotation there and obtaining that third victory, we're going to see them go to their tertiary site, only site really that's available. Ooh, like to go Penthouse. We've seen some strats on Penthouse in Pro League. We've seen some teams do it, mostly I believe LATAM teams are a little bit ballsy enough to try something like that. Already early gunfights coming out. Being is not going to want to give up this ground that he's taken. I mean, he's got the utility to be viable for him. He's got the upstairs presence from his teammates. But Genesis is going to win out the gunfights. That's what it's coming down to. We've got Louis posted up inside of Aqua. We've got Bean there on Sunrise, and I believe another player. Yeah, that's going to be Yeji posted up on top of CV. Chu is also upstairs. I mean, come on, you've got to be aware here. I keep saying that they've got to be aware, but you've got to be aware of the positioning here. They need more drones.
Yeah, a single drone through sight here.
A single drone through sight would enable a little bit of a shift. All they would need to do, I'm not saying rush, but just you can apply a little bit of pressure. We saw who was it? Was it Bean? I mean, okay, it picks out. But again, not enough drone knowledge. Louis was camping in Aqua and playing in Luggage the entire duration of the round and was not droned once. They attempted to assume. Assuming is always the wrong thing to do in Siege. They attempted to assume that nobody would be playing in Aqua. That was their downfall. Now they're down a man. Rather than just take the simple time to drone out Aqua and Billiard side, they don't. That's going to lead to them, again, getting put in a
very bad situation. 2 sets of frag grenades being taken off the board, and as well both your Gone 6. And here, however, we have Reapus coming through with the heroics yet again, putting the team on his back in a sense to get him man advantage yet again. And as well, a triple kill, finishing off the wounded Bean. However, going to be contested here by Ani, and does finally go down, but brings him down to just a sliver of HP. Now, in a 2 versus 2 with 30 seconds left, Dag trying to
Bomb located
potentially
by
hop
attacker.
in the kitchen window to go for the plant here. Burning ADS has to deal with a Midas, and it looks like they're going for a pinch play from both main lobby and kitchen window, but
15 seconds left.
rotate coming through. It's going to be just a straight up preparation take.
10
Being
seconds to go.
contested by Chew on the door, now by the rotate, and Hunter
5 seconds
fixing to be fragged here from jungle, and is say that as well. Chew from the rotate wall does end up taking out the Hibana in the end, putting 1 HP up, 4 rounds to 1, and very valid point. A lot of Siege players get caught out by this in the end. Dag as well. Shift does not need to be pressed at all times. There is just straight walking. Gun up.
There's moments where it's useful and there's moments where it's not. You know, they were pressed for time, but
Did they need the
can't put that
sprint?
I can't put that on Dag. I can't. Hunter
Yeah.
needed to win the gunfight. I mean, okay, Reaper needed to win the gunfight here against On. Losing that, come on. But then when when Hunter hops over from court and is pursuing the Mira who is on 1 HP and he can't land a bullet.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He overcorrected his aim, shot just past the shoulder of Ani there, and ends up just
Attackers have located a
barely
bomb.
losing that out. However, given the fact that Dag was on the other end of the map with being held off by Louis, that round would have probably still went 1 HP's way either way. But we're now moving back to Blue Bar and Kitchen. Do it, Beam. Yes! Run through that wall, Kool-Aid man.
Oh, I
5
just...
insertion.
I need to see...
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
I don't want to come back to that, but I've got to see the fundamentals. I mean, it's got to be called that Ana is low HP. I think that was the reason why Hunter was just spreading, but at the same time, the right man's is that. Hit a bullet. Hit a single bullet. They're bringing 6 nades. Throw a nade into that corner. Wait for him to push out. Find the kill that way. There's... I don't know, decision-making is ultimately what's throwing me off. I'm just seeing questionable decisions on the side of Genesis where they're throwing away easy picks, they're throwing away 1 rounds. This should not be a 4-1 scoreline here, I'll tell you that much. Is Yeji going to go undroned? Is he going to get misdroned? No, the drone's going to come back. Good work there. Hunter is going to find a pick on a Chew. That's going to be your leadoff. Again, another entry kill on the side of Genesis. Another setup for man advantage. Dag finally getting off the Hibana is going to be able to find a pick on the Twitch. Bean finds a trade though. Unawareness. Drone it. Reapas, why are you sprinting in there?
Wait,
Why?
Bembo.
Oh, man. I can't.
Bembo, with apparently needing a new pair of headphones, does not hear
Attackers
Ani
located a bomb.
crawling on the floor mere inches away from them, ends up taking not 1, not 2, but 3 shotgun shells before going down and just barely, and not even shooting back, and as well, Louis downing Hunter from security, but Doug, in
Attackers
a
activating diffuser.
seized opportunity, does end up planting the bomb inside of Sunrise, repositioning to the deployable shield. Nearly takes the head off of Ani, but they barely get back into cover. Now in a 1 versus 2, reposition inside of Blue Bar, unaware of where Louis is currently. Does hear that shot come out. Notes that we're skipping
Dance. There
Ani
we
and
go.
Dag with an amazing clutch and the 2-piece ends up salvaging what was left of this half for his team. 2 rounds to 4 for Genesis, and potentially just ever so slightly potentially making it to where his team could have a fighting chance in this match.
Yeah, it's arguable that the rework of Coastline could push it into being a defender favored, if not just a little bit more of a balanced map. If 1 HP had gone up 5-1 there, which it looked like they were going to do just based on the pure...
Just man
I don't wanna say-
advantage. the
Yeah, I don't want to
picks,
say idiocy, but I
positioning.
mean, let's say
It,
positioning. Let's say positional errors from the Genesis side. We all could have but called this map into 1 HP's favor. Now I'm still favoring 1 HP. I think that 1 HP is still going to pull it out, but could have been a little bit less definitive had had Genesis not pulled that round out.
Location of a bomb.
now, speaking of Genesis, their lineup currently seeing Thunderbird Alibi as two of your potential roaming operators here. Alibi, pretty interesting operator,
10
has
seconds remaining.
the 3 Prisma clones that can ping people. It seems like
5 seconds left.
Hunter had one wall stolen away from them
Attackers
and
are heading out
ended
to
up
defuse the
reinforcing the wrong side of the VIP wall. Raki going for the aggressive
Oh, don't do it,
C4.
do it.
And it sails true!
Down?
Being
Okay.
downed, but
Worth it.
not dead. That's a little bit over 90 HP taken off the board for a C4, which could have taken him completely off the field, but now that's a LMGE and full Zofia utility in pocket still available. And Chu taking some early aggressive control of Sunrise, setting up and posting up inside by Africa window. As we're going to be seeing as well Yeji on Dokkaebi of all operators, not really currently in the metagame. But as I say that, nice pick on the dag from behind Pink Bar, which, by the way, you can destroy now.
Yeah, and
And
putting
that's-
Dokkaebi on that window with that DMR, excellent
Yeah.
positioning there.
Same fire rate as the Dragunov that Glass has, with a slightly lower damage, still able to 2 or 3 shot, but Reapus with a nice refrag does take Yeji off that big window position. That's your power position currently taken off the board. Bembo as well in a very good spot to cause some mayhem onto the hookah balcony should no one be able to clear and flush them out.
The diffuser.
And as I say that, that is going to be your Hibana of all operators taken off the board.
Yeah, before Ani could even get up and apply any pressure onto the quad wall, she's gone. Now, there's 2 points that I want to mention. I want to say that the Dokkaebi pick is purely a comfort pick. The DMR on that window is certainly a little bit more viable. But with the lion off the board, you have 2 choices really for those that triage of roam clears, Jackal, and you have Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi has her uses, while she's certainly not as meta. We're going to see a pick there, actually. Ooh, nice shot.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Excellent. He's taking up that double window position. But Dokkaebi's more of the comfort, and I'm not upset with the pick there. Certainly applies the same roam clearing utility. Hunter's going to take some damage here. A little bit in dire straits. Bimbo's going to find a pick. Chu's going to trade it out. Bimbo again going to find a pick. That's 3 on the round. Chu's going to trade it out down to the 1v1. Bimbo's got to find the quad here. They are
Out of bullets.
out of bullets, but they're also out of their minds. They are essentially the exact same amount of HP. Chu makes the rotation.
Chu.
Bimbo's unaware of it. Chu grabs the kill. I would have loved to
No.
have seen Bimbo grab the quad there.
It was actually the lack of rotation that ended up getting it into Chu's favor there. They ended up sitting on Vase, playing patiently, not falling back after Bembo had aggressively rotated into Pirate. Now, let's start off here. That C4 onto Bean did end up coming into play as Bembo on the flank in that late round landed just a single bullet to take, just 1 or 2 bullets to take Bean off the board here. But
Attackers dropped the
that
diffuser.
play specifically, it was Chu's decision to, instead of falling back, instead of pushing aggressively, to sit tight, play it calm and collected, and as we're going to see here, their decision to not
15
fall
seconds
back
to go.
and then play it calm and slowly push up on that line of sight here is what secured and cinched it out for 1 HP in the end. And now we have Genesis 1 round away from facing down match point if I'm them, I want to secure this round, make sure that we're not looking down. Match point with
10 seconds
4
remaining.
rounds still to go before we're even
5 seconds
close
left.
to thinking about match point.
Yeah, no, I want to see a dominant round here from Genesis. They've got everything that they need to know about 1 HP in their structure. Reapa's doing phenomenal. I like seeing him on the Thunderbird. He was getting a lot of important, viable frags on Villa. Again, he was an impact in last round on the Thunderbird. He's clearly comfortable with that spear. I want to see more of it. Racky's got to lay down that damage. You can shoot the toes of the Osa. Get a little bit of that early damage.
I'm not a big fan of the impacts being used like this. That could be Osa shields being removed later, but as I say that, they do end up taking Shoot down. Facing down to 151 here, however, does end up falling eventually in the end after about 7 solid seconds of sustained gunfire from the Sophia and additional pressure coming out from Louis. And speaking of Louis, Bembo takes them down from Pirate Hatch, ends up taking a very good gun and a good player off the board. Reapa's here as well, doing a nice little dance with Yeji on that blue bar window and being quite aggressive here still. Yeji nearly tags Reapus up for 70 damage, but instead gets the consolation prize of Hunter, who is playing inside a courtyard of all places.
Just a tad unaware. It takes about 3-4 bullets for Yeji to make a hole where she can see, or what he, but respectively Dokubi can see the paintings position where Hunter was posted up. A little bit of sad unawareness there. Reaper's gonna take another shot. They're just dancing around like you said, playing a little
They're
bit of,
just feeling out their power.
Reapus has not moved. Reapus is still holding down office, but here you see the rotation, and
there we
he's
go.
aware of it. Reapus is going to find that.
Traded.
He's going to get traded out, though. Bean took about 98 bullets before he needed to reload last time, or 92 bullets before he needed to reload last time. He's taken another 70 or so. Still has not needed to reload it. Bembo's taking damage.
Bembo
Bembo
did not need, he didn't need to be reinforcing there. Bembo getting caught out, reinforcing in the late round. Not really anything you want to be doing with less than 60 seconds left on the board. Putting Dag in a very uncomfortable situation here, being pinched out from courtyard and kitchen window, but kitchen window player does end up vaulting over to medical station. They're trying to stick the plant now. On less than a second left on the plant, but Bean does end up taking out his third on the round with the LMG, and that's match point.
Well, and it's excellent positioning there by Bean. Way to put himself in a position where he was most favored. Had he taken any sort of other heads-up gunfight, he probably would have lost it. Low HP, SMG 11, you lose that 9 times out of 10. Excellent positioning there, only giving him his head, and he ended up not giving him his head.
Fine
Very
booms
well
done
played.
effect.
Now, that's what I wanted to see earlier. Had Chu gone down earlier in the round, getting his toe shot off, this could have been different. Racky could have had a way more winnable of a situation here. But
That LMG is so stupid.
it's just powerful. It's got a high fire rate too. He was laying down 5 or 6 bullets a second on each side of the pillar there, so no matter which way Racky moved, he was gone.
And LMGs are becoming the metagame moving forward. We're seeing a lot of teams bring them over the assault rifles of their respective operators that have them. So don't be surprised if at Invite you see any operator that has an LMG available to them. Your Finkas, your Sophias, your Fuses, potentially. Capitaos, IQ. If they have an LMG available, it will most likely be run just because of the sustained firepower that they're able to bring. The rate of fires not being too much different from your assault rifles, and as well, the damage. It's the DPS isn't much farther off from the assault rifles. However, when you have the blisteringly fast rate of fires, like on that P10 Ruddy that just took out Bean from a spawn peak, that can chew through their clips in like not even a full 2 seconds, versus an LMG that can sustain fire for a solid 8 to 15 seconds. Those guns are really, really potent against what the defense brings to the table.
Yeah, I mean, they're deadly. Reapers, you got to slow down. You've got to chill. I get it. You know, you're 11-7. You're feeling yourself. You're the only player on your team that's positive. But you don't have to get all the kills. I said you needed to slow down, and you definitely did. Deji's going to yank his head off. Ani's going to find another one onto Bimbo. And now look at that. We're back again in the 3v3. 1 HP has gone down on the entry more times than I can count. And yet, here we are again. Man advantage tied.
Bimbo,
Arguably,
unfortunately.
HP advantage. I almost said HP. Sounded like oh, Jess. Oh, I love the way that she says HP. I hate it.
I thought you were gonna say Brian,
Bomb has been located.
Either one, anyone
you know,
that's British, they say HP. I
or
can't
Stewie.
stand it. But
Brian, could you hand me the wheat thins?
oh, the wheat thins.
Yes, the wheat thins.
I definitely think Jin needs some wheat thins here if they're gonna try to pull this match out. Down 4 rounds. Arguably HP advantage in their favor. Dag going
Dag
down.
goes
Gets
down.
caught off. That's just unfortunate.
Wait,
I mean,
crap.
that's just
Okay,
little mistakes. Sure.
That is very, very questionable. Dad got caught in rotation, going from prep into kitchen, goes down from prep door, and fixing to be collapsed in on by Ani here, who ends up closing it out in 2-0 for his team. That's just a questionable move from Dag.
Yeah, it's aggression. They can't keep up with the aggression. I mean, we're seeing way too fast of gameplay here from 1 HP that Genesis is just not ready for. Genesis got caught off guard so many times, getting caught on rotations, getting picks found where they should have been
Not even
had their
that.
gun up and been looking, and they just got picked off pure
I wouldn't.
unawareness.
I don't even think it. I would say that they weren't playing properly against the aggression that 1 HP was bringing. I would say that they just weren't setting up the trades properly. They weren't doing proper flank watch, and their entry was lacking. Their entry, their flank watch, and their trades were weak. They had the fragging potential. As you could see, we had multiple players who did poor on the first map or did poor on the second map that had polar opposite performances going into the second map. Hunter, for example, went 2-10, 2-11 that first map, but ended up having a pop-off game this map just to lose.
Yeah, well, and it's unfortunate when you see players have that polarity between maps where had they had the same performance on the other map and conjoined that with their other players, we would have seen totally different results. Had Hunter had the same performance on Villa that he had here on Coastline, Villa could have been different. Had Bimbo had the same performance here on Coastline that he'd had on Villa, could have been different. Ultimately, what it came down to was heads up gunfights between Villa and Coastline both. I think 1 HP was just the better team as far as their gun skill goes. A lack of awareness and lack of fundamentals on Genesis ultimately led them into an early grave. I was excited to see Chalet. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But what can you say? Good game to 1 HP. I mean, they earned it. They pulled it out. They deserved it.
Yeah, I would agree. It really does kind of leave a sour taste in your mouth, though. It seems like Genesis could have put up much more of a fight than 5 rounds over 2 maps. It was it even 5? I think it might have just been 4.
It was 3 on Villa and then 2 here, 5 rounds.
Yeah, it's just you would expect them to put up more rounds than the amount of rounds of DL, the Digital Athletes League has done since the season has started. But unfortunately, we did not. And I do believe we are trying to get a player interview going at this moment. We're just waiting on response from the player in question.
Let's do it. I wanna talk to this 1 HP roster.
Uh,
I wanna know just how deep they delved into the minds of Genesis to pull this win out. Did
yeah,
they counter strat? I mean, were any of those bans pure comfort bans, or were they counter strat bans? I mean, there's a lot of questions that I have for sure for this 1 HP roster. I would
yeah,
love for those questions to be answered right
especially when
here.
you consider that two of the players from 1 HP did come from that prior Genesis roster. It does, as you said, bring into question that whether or not the specifically Nomad ban, which we saw brought across not only Villa, which is a map that you don't typically see Nomad heavily played on, but does see some use against certain teams and play styles, and as well Coastline. More common to see Nomad played on that map, but less common to see them banned.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of factors that played into how this match turned out. I think that for Genesis moving forward, what they should do is go back to sort of their fundamentals. If they can get those fundamentals on lock, we're going to see a lot more rounds come out. There was man advantage that was thrown away. There were picks that were lost when they should have been gained. And I think that for Genesis moving forward, fundamentals is going to be key.
All right, and I do believe we have our player in for the interview. That's going to be Ani from the 1 HP roster. Ani, how are you feeling after that 2-0 victory against Genesis?
I'm feeling really, really good and like really, 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 really happy.
A lot of
We
reallys
can
there.
tell. We can
Yeah.
tell you got the high energy going right now. Now, we noticed that going into this game as well, having uh, two of you, yourself and another teammate, had come from the Genesis roster previously. We wanted to know if that had factored into any of your gameplay bans or the way you went about uh, your strategies in this match.
A little bit. So I know that, my former teammates think they know me. So I'm like, listen up, guys. This is what they're gonna try to do, and this is what they're really gonna do. So if we can just use that to our advantage and just punish them, we easily win this game. Like even down to the map bans went our way. So
Okay. Now, piggybacking off of that, like you said, they think that they knew you.
hmm
So, how did that come into some of your defenses and attacks on Villa specifically? Because obviously, coastline, we can leave that by the wayside, but there was definitely, it looked like you guys were really reading into what Genesis was going to bring on Villa.
So on Villa, we play like an aggressive intel kind of defense, like back when I was on Genesis. So I'm like, look, these guys are gonna like, try to funnel out everybody with the C4. They're gonna check every corner downstairs. We can use that to advantage. Like they spending half the round downstairs trying to clear us while we're upstairs just waiting for them to, flood and just punish them easily. And
Definitely,
then I knew
definitely.
like a lot of our setups, they were gonna try to go around it. So like I already had a setup for that.
Absolutely. We definitely saw
Yeah.
Genesis bring some unorthodox, not unorthodox, but attack strategies that just didn't work. They brought the buck, they brought a few operators to really do that downstairs clear. You guys capitalized on that. So hats off to you and your team for that knowledge and taking advantage of that. Yeji was the other player that joined you, right, from the old Genesis roster, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, yeah, you guys had a stellar performance. Want to commend you on that. Moving on
Thank you.
from that into Coastline, how did you guys see your play style sort of switch up from going from
So
Villa to Coastline?
so in Villa, we were basically like punishing them for like what they thought they could get away with. And Coastline, I'm like, based on the bans, we're gonna tell like their modes. So they banned Lion because we played Lion on Villa, and I'm like, it's either they ban Lion or they ban Osa. And it showed me like how they're gonna play. Like they're extremely scared, extremely nervous. I'm like, we can take advantage of that. We can take every space we need, clear we have to, get the bomb down, play for trades easy. Like even at when they got the first pick that last round, I think. Yeah, they got the first pick. We still was like, all right, we're chilling. We got this in the bag. And then there was like a lot of solo plays. So that too, like, says to me like they're not fully coordinated. We can just double up, take that.
No, there was certainly a lot of team coordination between you guys. While
Hmm.
you're definitely a little bit new to 1HP, 1HP has their core three. You and Yeji obviously have history. You guys came together and were really coordinated throughout both maps.
Yeah, we've been practicing a lot since we both got picked up. I thank them for, trusting in me to, IGL and just lead them every round, everything. Like everybody just listens. We play as a team, vibes are 100. Like I really love playing with them. Connects with better teammates. Oh, the coaching staff. The coaching staff is ridiculous. Like awkward, Namino, serious. I love them. I love them. Like the game plans like we came up with, like it's ridiculous. Like even down to like the scrims, the advice. I really appreciate everything.
Yeah, don't give away too much now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll give you a good scolding if you go too much more into detail on that. But
Oh,
we thank you. Oh, go ahead, Ani.
um, I don't know if you guys could tell, but like the first game, I was a little nervous, and then like second game, I'm like, we're winning this. Like we're winning this.
We
A
couldn't
little
tell at
bit.
all.
A little bit. You guys certainly let the reins loose on map 2. Coastline was a lot more strategic aggression. You definitely took the reins off, the boys there for that second map. Great to see.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Ani, I have one more question for you.
Hmm.
Without revealing too much, what can we expect to see from this new 1 HP revitalized roster heading into the back half of this season in 2022?
Uh, lots of unorthodox gameplay. Like if you're planning to prepare for us, just don't. It's not gonna work.
So what you're saying is some funky bands,
Yep,
some
funky
interesting
beds.
strats.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing it. Congrats on your win tonight. We thank you for your time, man. And you and the 1 HP boys have an excellent rest of your night.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night to you guys.
We'll do our best. But I have been Blaze. This has been NSC. This has been the Digital Athletes League match for the night. We thank you all for tuning in and watching, even through our technical difficulty earlier in the stream. You guys have a great night. Signing off.